Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing some time travel. We're going to explore the surprisingly tasty and honestly sometimes completely gross truth about what the Anglo Saxons actually ate. If you think they were just sitting around chomping on giant turkey legs all day, well, you are in for a big surprise. I want you to imagine, just for a second, packing your lunch for school, but like 1,000 years ago. If you've seen a lot of movies, you might be expecting to open your lunchbox and find these giant, king-sized roasted turkey legs, huge chunks of deer meat, and all sorts of heavy, greasy foods. I mean, that's the picture we usually get of the past, right? Well, get ready for a massive plot twist. Modern scientists have been doing these things called bioarchaeological studies. Basically, that means they've been looking incredibly closely at ancient bones and plant remains. And what they found? It completely changes the story. These studies prove that our expectation of kings eating huge roasted legs of meat every single day is totally wrong. The reality is that both the hardworking peasants and the fanciest royalty actually ate a mostly vegetarian diet. Yeah, almost everyone was eating the exact same types of plant-based foods. Section 1, the surprising vegetarian diet: grains, plants, and porridge. So the reality of their daily diet was a massive reliance on cereal, grains, and plants. We're talking 90% of what they ate. That tiny little 10% left over, that's the meat. It completely shatters that whole movie myth of the medieval meat feasts, doesn't it? Plants were the real stars of the Anglo Saxon dinner table. Okay, so what plants are we actually talking about here? Well, their staple crops, the ones they grew constantly just to stay self-sufficient, were wheat, barley, oats, and rye. And because they had to grow everything themselves, they had to be super creative. They processed all these grains into their daily necessities. They'd grind them up to bake bread, boil them down to make this thick, filling porridge, and even ferment them to make ale. Bread and porridge were basically the fuel that kept the whole Anglo-Saxon world running. Section 2. Meat, a rare occasional treat. Feasts, hunting, and horses? Now, remember those giant banquets we were just talking about? Instead of kings feasting all by themselves in a giant castle every night, large meat-filled banquets were actually super rare. And here is the absolute craziest part. These occasional grand feasts were actually hosted by the peasants for their rulers. The everyday farmers would throw these massive parties and serve the meat up to the elite. So, to get that rare meat for those special feasts, they kept a few specific types of livestock. They had cattle, which gave them both milk and meat. They kept sheep for a type of meat called mutton, and pigs. Pigs were incredibly important because they were a critical source of protein and fat. But they didn't just rely on farm animals. To supplement the food supply, the men and the young boys of the village would actually head out into the wild to hunt and fish. All right, brace yourselves, because history can be a little gross sometimes. In the early pagan period of the Anglo Saxons, so before they became Christians, horse meat was sometimes consumed. I know, right? But it wasn't just like a regular Tuesday night dinner. They ate horse meat specifically as part of their religious rituals and sacrifices. Definitely not something you would want to find in your school lunchbox today. Section 3. Cheese and beer, the surprising drinks of the Anglo Saxons. The women in Anglo-Saxon society played an absolutely vital role in keeping everyone fed and hydrated. They managed the dairy, often using the milk they got from cattle and sheep to make cheese. But they didn't stop at food. Taking charge of brewing ale was actually one of the primary domestic tasks for women. They were literally the master brewers of the house. And believe it or not, ale wasn't just some rare treat. It was considered an absolutely essential resource for all classes of men, from the poorest farmer all the way up to the richest lord. It was such a huge part of their culture that social gatherings often turned into pretty wild beer parties. In fact, these parties got so loud and crazy that grumpy religious leaders actually wrote down complaints, criticizing people for having a shameful habit of eating and drinking way too much. Section 4. Cooking around the hearth, from garden to clay pot. So how did a meal actually come together? It was a very clear step-by-step process. Step 1. The women would step outside to their carefully managed kitchen gardens to gather fresh herbs and vegetables, to add flavor and vitamins. Step 2, they'd bring those ingredients inside and cook them in these round clay pots, which were kind of like ancient saucepans right over the central hearth. The hearth was basically an open fire located smack in the middle of the home. And finally, step 3, They would serve up the hot food and water in simple dishes and cups made of clay or wood. But wait, what about dessert? To sweeten their food, they didn't exactly have bags of white sugar laying around like we do. They used something very special. The Anglo Saxons actually loved writing riddles, and they wrote a famous one describing this sweet food as having a captive life. Can you guess what it is? Think about something sweet that lives in a little house built by humans. Yep, if you guessed honey, you hit the nail right on the head. Honey was their main sweetener. That captive life riddle was just their super clever way of talking about keeping bees captive in their man-made wooden beehives. Also, humans could collect that sweet, sticky goodness for their food and drinks. So, we've really uncovered the truth today. You now know that instead of chewing on giant turkey legs all the time, kings and peasants alike were mostly eating thick grain porridge, fresh vegetables from the garden, chunks of cheese, and drinking ale. Meat was basically a rare treat saved for special feasts. So, knowing what you know now about their mostly vegetarian, heavily grain-based diet, I've got one final question for you. Would you swap your favorite dinner tonight for a seat on a wooden bench around the Anglo-Saxon central hearth? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and keep staying curious about the past.